last 10. Carr tips it in and it's Waller. He spins into the end zone for the touchdown. Watching greatness on one end in LeBron. There's a dude with 35 in white getting it done defensively and then offense taking over the fight. Mama, there goes that man.
They have shared a brilliant championship battle, but the championship can only be won by one, and it's going Dutch in 2021. Max Verstappen, for the first time ever, is champion of the world.
You said that she has a shrine for Taylor Swift in her room?
Well, didn't you see that post I sent you about the Daily Mail where Taylor Swift went out with a bunch of her friends and apparently she invited Brittany Mahomes? I don't know if Brittany was invited or if she invited herself. But you had Taylor Swift, Gigi Hadid, you had Selena Gomez, and then there's Brittany Mahomes.
Apparently, Brittany Mahomes has heat with Taylor Swift, though. Or not Taylor Swift, but like the Taylor Swift fans, because I don't know why Brittany Mahomes, of all people, but she did an ad for the Skims underwear. And you know Skims underwear, it's the Kim Kardashian underwear, right?
Yes, I recorded. I talked about that last week, how they became the official sponsors, underwear sponsors for the NFL, or was it the NBA?
I totally forgot about that. But anyway. But yeah, apparently she did like an ad for them, and Swifties are mad at her for that.
Yeah, apparently Kim has a
because of the Kanye thing.
No, I think she had her own feud with.
No. It's because of the Kanye thing.
She divorced the man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Why does it matter?
You both hate the guy. Who cares? I don't know.
Anyway, let's get started on this show.
Let's. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this week's edition of the Waterboy Experience. I am your host, the Waterboy himself, Davis McLemore, and we got a great show lined up for you this week. It's certainly much more entertaining than the segment you just heard. We got NFL news, we got Formula One news, a little bit of random stuff sprinkled in there somehow. We'll fit it in. Just fit it in, Jason. Here it is. He's fitting it in right now, the CEO and CFO of Nye Productions. The Red Bull chugging son of a gun, the gear-headed freak himself, Mr. Jason Shaddix. Jason, how are you?
Get this boy an oxygen tank. He's huffing and puffing. He is gassed.
I can't breathe.
Well, maybe if you stop smoking so much.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe if I just...
Getting so smoking hot. What?
Maybe if I just... What?
What?
No, I was going to say, maybe if I stopped watching Raider games, maybe I could breathe like a normal fucking person. You didn't watch the Raiders and Jets game, did you?
No, I know how it's going to end, and I quite frankly do not care because, the Lions won our game.
Yeah, I heard.
I'm starting to get,
I've
sick
heard.
and tired of all these wins. I mean, Max always wins. Red Bull always wins. The Lions always wins. It's like, dude, I'm getting tired of carrying all this, victory, the gloat that I get to put on Raider fans when I say, yeah, I'm a Lions fan. Oh, you're a Raiders fan?
Quick, pick your favorite college football team now.
North Shore Dam.
North Shore Dam?
Yes.
North Shore Dam, is that a university?
I don't know if it's
North Shore Dam University?
It's my university.
Oh, you're talking about Notre Dame.
No, I'm talking about my own university.
North Shore Dam. Okay.
Yeah.
Your own university?
Yeah, my own university.
What are you, Kanye West?
Yes, I'm Kanye West.
You did not just say that on the show.
Don't worry, I can bleep it.
It's in context. But anyway, the Raiders and the Jets played on Sunday Night Football, and it was a awful football game to watch.
I thought it was perfectly normal. I saw the highlights. It looked normal Raider game.
Normal Raider game, yes, but
like I said, I'm kind of used to winning. And
well, it was a defensive game because both of these teams have really good defenses, and both of these teams have really, really bad offenses.
Emphasis on like the offense,
really bad, and it's like the talent is there, but they're both bad. For the Jets, I think it starts at the coaching for offense. For the Raiders right now, it's starting with the quarterback. Aiden O'Connell is not at all ready to be a starting quarterback in the NFL, but let's just let him play out the rest of the season because anything is better than playing Jimmy Garoppolo. Let's let him play out the rest of the season, see how he does. If we don't like it, let's draft a quarterback. If we like him, let's keep him, whatever.
I hear Tom Brady's a free agent.
Tom Brady's retired. We're not doing that.
I hear Tom Brady's looking for a comeback.
No, we're not doing
Just accept the Super Bowl win. Swallow your pride, goddammit. You always swallow. You never spit. And now you want to spit?
Yeah, I will spit Tom Brady out right now. Patooey. On the other side of the ball, Zach Wilson. Now, we've talked about Zach Wilson. He's our boy. We love him, mostly not even because of his football, but because of his past experiences with older women and moms and all that kind of stuff.
Sigmund Freud would have a field day with him.
That's for sure.
So you're really just fucking your mother all this time that you're fucking her best friends.
But Max Crosby had a field day with him this past week because he could not do anything. Now, Zach Wilson has been in the league, 2 years?
Give or take.
Give or take.
He's been benched for half of those.
He's been making the same mistakes, if not worse mistakes, than Aiden O'Connell was in that game. So people are starting to doubt Zach Wilson. Well, does he suck? Is he our next guy after Aaron Rodgers comes back? And people have been giving a time frame for Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers gave that time frame.
Well, and we don't. People are expecting him to come back in December.
No, he said Thanksgiving Day. Didn't you see the...
He said, yeah, but I told you that was a load of bullshit. I don't believe that for a second.
No. He said that.
He said that. That's a load of bullshit.
No, but are you thinking about the time he said it to the player on the field? Because he was just...
No, that was a load of bullshit too.
No, because he went on the Pat McAfee show and he was talking to Pat and he said, yeah, I'm looking to come in at Thanksgiving.
Right. And I'm saying that's a load of bullshit. You're not going to do that.
I don't know. Those healing stones doing wonders.
You tore your Achilles. And you think you're going to come back week 12? It's insane. I think he's trying to rush this.
Oh, he is.
Big time. Just sit out for the rest of the season. Come back next year. But I think he's also scared. And at this point, should he even be scared? I think he's scared that people will start siding with Zach Wilson and they're going to bench Aaron Rodgers for Zach Wilson. But is that really a realistic thing to be scared about?
Well, I mean, Zach hasn't really been doing real well.
No.
So it's 50-50. Quite honestly.
Watch him just turn it on halfway through. Like right now, we're at week 10. He just turns it on week 11 and just strings along a bunch of wins, takes him to the playoffs.
And then I would say, well, where was that in the last year and a half?
I still don't know about Aaron Rodgers now. I'm not even about him coming back, but just as a player, he's not going to be the same.
I wonder who's been saying that for a year and a half of doing a podcast.
Right, but we're talking about him coming off of a torn Achilles. He's not going to be the same player at all.
Not at that age.
Not at this age, especially with how fast he's been trying to come back. No.
What if he does come back on Thanksgiving? All right, just humor me. He comes back and then he rips his Achilles, but on the other foot.
That would be the greatest sequence in football ever.
Aaron Rodgers, everybody. Yay! Oh.
And he just slowly becomes the Bryan Danielson of the NFL. He comes back and he gets hurt. He comes back and he gets hurt. I don't know.
Speaking of which, did you know he broke his orbital bone a few weeks ago?
Who?
Daniel.
Oh, Danielson?
Yeah. Like quite literally, he
breaks everything.
Yeah.
That's the problem. He's broken his leg, he broke his nose, he broke his orbital bone, he broke his neck, he broke his back, he broke his... Just you name it. The foot bone is disconnected to the leg bone. The leg bone's disconnected from the knee bone.
But anyway, do you want to talk any more about the game or you want to move on?
Not about that game. I wanted to move on to last night's game, Monday Night Football. We had the Broncos versus the Bills.
What the fuck happened, right?
What happened? And it's weird because on our side of the thing, the Raiders won that game, by the way. We're 5-5, and we're ecstatic. We're happy about it. The Bills are 5-5 as well, and they're depressed about it. But you know what? They shot themselves in the foot. Let's make this very clear. The Broncos didn't beat the Bills. The Bills beat the Bills and let the Broncos win. That's all I'm saying. Now, I get that they kind of did a no-huddle. I watched the clip. They did a no-huddle field goal, which was interesting, and I thought it was a good tactic, but, you know, you kind of had to do that because time was running out. Like, they had to go, and set up for the field goal and kick it. But it was effective because when the defense was subbing their team and bringing out the field goal team, well, somebody extra stayed out there in all the confusion and the chaos and all that stuff. One extra man stayed out there. They had 12 men on the field. The Broncos kicked the field goal, missed it the first time, but the flag was thrown after the field goal was missed, and they called 12 men on the field. So then they got to re-kick again, and they made it, and they won. It was crazy. I've never seen anything like that.
And we're already seeing the fallout from this because Adam Schefter is reporting that the Bills have fired the offensive coordinator, Ken Dorsey.
Wow.
That was quick.
That was quick. I mean, can you blame them, though? You lost to the Broncos, a team you very well should have beaten because people have been hyping the Bills up for so long that they are a Super Bowl contender. They're one of the best teams in the AFC, and they have a worse record than the Broncos, a worse record than the Steelers, not worse record than the Broncos, my bad. The Browns, I mean. A worse record than the Steelers. I mean, it's been an embarrassing season for the Bills at this point.
And to give just a little bit of context for the Broncos, they are on a streak right now, 3 victories in a row. So they lost their game against the Chiefs in October 12th, okay? They lost 19-8. Then they beat the Packers by 2 points, 19-17. And then they beat the Chiefs 24-9. And then they beat the Bills 24-22.
Let's talk about the Broncos for a second. I mean, you beat the Chiefs and then not just had a win against the Chiefs. No, you beat the Chiefs. We talked about that game. That was a decisive win. Then you turn around and you beat the Bills, who, no matter what people say, they are a talented team. Who's their next opponent?
Vikings.
Okay, that's an easy win. Next.
Browns.
Okay, that's an easy win. Next.
Texans.
Easy win. Next.
Chargers.
Difficult game, but I can see them winning that next.
Lions.
Okay. If they beat the Lions, we got a problem. We might have to eat our own ass cheeks for all the bad things we said about the Broncos.
And then they're playing the Patriots and then the Chargers. And then finally on January 7th, it still hasn't been given a date. Well, it's been given a date, but not the time. It's going to be the Denver Broncos versus the Raiders.
Yeah, it's the last game of the season. That's usually how it works out.
But what I'm noticing is a little bit of a trend going on where the big teams like the Chiefs, the Eagles, the Dolphins, the Bills, they're losing to like really shitty teams when they really shouldn't. Which makes me worried now because I'm like, are we going to lose to the fucking Broncos?
I don't know. The NFL is weird like that.
Damn script.
Who wrote this script?
His name is Freddie Prinze Jr.
Freddie Prinze Jr. What is he doing in the NFL? I thought you were going to say Roger Goodell.
No, don't you remember Freddie Prinze Jr. was a writer for the WWE? Shitty writing.
Hey, that makes sense.
There you go.
But anyway, do you want to talk about anything else in the NFL?
Yes, I do.
Oh, you do? That's weird. Usually you don't have anything else in my sport that you want to talk about. Usually we just move on to your sport.
Okay, no, I don't.
That's what I thought. Well, anyway.
But we are staying on the topic of football because, and this was breaking news 2 days ago, Jimbo Fisher has been fired as Texas A&M head coach. But here's the interesting thing. Fisher will be paid the remaining $76 million on his deal, according to sources, a record amount for a buyout paid to a head coach.
Jason, I have a new goal in life. I want to be a high-paid college football coach. I want to do a terrible job so I can get fired, sit at home for the next 10 years on my ass, and rake in, like, what would that be, like $8 million a year?
More.
Wow.
And then probably give him like, here's 20 million. Here's 20 million.
Here's 20 more.
Here's 20 more. It's like a really bad alimony case.
Yeah.
Where you're having to see your ex-wife and you're going to have to cut him a check. Always get a prenup.
Did he do terrible at Texas A&M? Because that's my question. I don't remember him being, like, awful. He's no Nick Saban. And if they were paying him that much, then I would expect him to be, you know, the second coming of fucking Bear Bryant. But, you know.
Well, see, that's the interesting thing. So the news came out 2 days ago. Right now it's the 14th, so that was the 12th. The 11th, Texas A&M beat Mississippi State 51-10.
That doesn't mean much, but yeah.
Well, I mean, would you fire a head coach when he wins a game?
Right. If they would have lost to Mississippi State, oh yeah, then he should totally be fired. But I don't know. That's interesting to me.
Okay, so I pulled something up real quick. It's the standings for Texas A&M. So they're not doing relatively good. So right now in the SEC West, we have Alabama at the top, Mississippi, LSU, Texas A&M, Auburn, Mississippi State, and then Arkansas.
Yeah, but you also got to think that's a tough division. I mean, LSU has had an off year, but they're still LSU. Ole Miss
they've had an off year since what? The early 2010s?
No, they won a national championship like 2 or 3 years ago. They were really when Joe Burrow was on that team, LSU was cooking. And then they kind of fell off.
Oh, too bad it didn't translate to a Super Bowl win.
Yeah. Not yet, at least. We still got time on him.
Look, the way they've been playing this year.
Oh, yeah.
We're a long way from that.
Not this year, and maybe not next year.
Or the year after that.
Yeah.
Or the year after that.
But my point is LSU's usually a pretty good team. Ole Miss is hit or miss. Hey, that makes sense. And Alabama's Alabama. They're not the Alabama of old.
They're still 7-0.
Yeah, they're still undefeated.
And so is Georgia.
So to be in that mix and be Texas A&M, that's pretty difficult. At least you're not like Missouri or Vanderbilt or something like that.
Vanderbilt is undefeated. 0-7.
Oh. No, that doesn't. They're unvictoried.
But it doesn't sound as good. Well, they're undefeated at being the worst.
Who have they played?
Let me pull that up.
Because Vanderbilt's like, they're supposed to be a Power 5 school. And if they're playing smaller schools and losing and they're 0-7, that's awful.
Okay, so they just lost to South Carolina.
Okay.
47-6.
Understandable.
They lost to Auburn 31-15.
Understandable.
They lost to Mississippi 33-7.
Understandable.
They lost to Georgia 37-20.
Understandable.
But it's not a big gap.
Not that big of a gap, but Georgia's weird like that, where they'll have a close game with somebody they shouldn't, and people start going, oh, Georgia's this, Georgia's that. And then they'll have a big game against somebody that could actually beat them, and then they'll blow them out of the fuck.
Tennessee.
Georgia's just really weird. I don't know.
Well, they're doing something right.
They're doing something right.
So before that, they played Florida 38-14. They lost to Missouri 38-21.
Understandable.
Weren't you just making fun of Missouri?
Yeah, but Vanderbilt's worse than Missouri.
Oh, okay. They lost against Kentucky 45-28. They lost to the UNLV 40-37.
University of Las Vegas.
I think so. It just says the initials.
Yeah, that's them.
Okay.
Oh my God.
They lost to Wake Forest 36-20.
Oh my God.
They beat Alabama A&M.
We beaten Alabama University A&M.
They beat Hawaii 35-28. And then they lost to Tennessee really badly. 56-0.
Yeah. That'll do it.
They beat Florida 31-24. They beat Kentucky 24-21. South Carolina kicked their ass 38-27, and the list goes on. Because it really goes on for a while.
I don't even know why Vanderbilt is in that division, the SEC.
Well, because they passed that No Child Left Behind law.
Leave that child behind.
We really
That's
should.
the child you don't want.
Well, then Mississippi State Southern Mississippi would be that child.
Well, yeah, Southern Miss is the child that's not even there.
Northwestern State cancels their football season and their head coach resigns. They canceled it due to their junior safety Ronnie Caldwell passing away. And then the school accepted the resignation of the head coach Brad Layard, whatever his name is, who is in his 6th season as head coach of the Demons football team. And this is going to be a really, really, really good one. All right, so pay attention to this. The University of Arizona misplaced a bit of money. It's a small amount, something that can be forgivable that anybody can misplace. You want to take a guess at how much money that was?
I lost. You found $40 in your car.
Yeah, I found $40 in my car. I don't know where they came.
Maybe that was Arizona State's $40 and they misplaced $40.
Yeah. Well, they misplaced an easily, a forgivable $240 million.
Well, that's, yeah, you might have just lost that in your couch, I guess. How did they misplace it?
Apparently, the finance department completely miscalculated the numbers.
Hey.
Which, you could be off by, what, $100, $300, but, $240 million, well, that's understandable. Anybody could lose $240 million. And by anybody, I mean Elon Musk and Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos.
The American government.
Yeah.
But no, I'm throwing the red flag on this. I'm challenging. Something's going on here. You don't just lose that amount of money. Misplaced.
I wonder if they were misplaced in the pockets of a few people.
Wonder who?
Dean,
maybe.
head coach.
Head coaches, players.
You think it's the players? You think they gave $240 million?
Illegal NIL deals or whatever you want to call it? Maybe.
But $240 million worth of illegal NIL deals?
A lot of players. If you've got, okay, let's say you're Arizona. You're in the Pac-12 and there are other teams in the Pac-12 or in college football in general that these 5-star recruits out of high school want to go to. You're probably on their bottom of the list. But if you've got some 5-star players and you dangle money in their face, maybe you buy them a car, maybe you do all this kinds of stuff. Maybe you pay for this. And I'm talking about a lot of kids here just to try to get them over on your team. Maybe you dangle a little bit of change in their face and they come over.
Yeah, but you said a little bit of change. A little bit of change would be like $5 million. This is $240 million.
Well, maybe there's about...
How expensive were the hookers?
You'd be surprised at what hookers go for in Arizona these days.
Well, I mean, you could get real good hookers for $1,500.
Or you can get a half decent one for $20.
I know a hook. No, I'm not gonna mention anything right there.
But yeah, I think that's what's going on here. I think it's all recruitment money. I think that's what's happening.
No, I think somebody's embezzling money.
That too. Maybe it's a mixture.
What if the dean's like, wait a minute. I know I'm stealing money, but who else is stealing money?
Wait a minute. This can't all be going to me.
Opens up his bank account. I only got $1 million. Who took $239 million?
Now he has to be mad about it.
Everybody raises their hands.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, I'm kind of done with football news.
I'm kind of done with all news because there's nothing really going on right now.
Well, what's going on in Formula One?
Oh, boy. I kind of want to save most of it, so I'm just...
Oh, that's right. You told me that there was something that you wanted to tell me.
Yes, it's going on in Vegas. It's about the entire $500,000 that it's being spent on Vegas.
Yes, they were talking about it a lot. The Las Vegas Grand Prix and on Sunday Night Football, and it was pretty cool. But
okay, so I'm gonna give you a little bit of a rundown. Essentially, all right, this is costing $500 million. All right,
who?
The race to make this race happen.
Oh, it's costing the FIA $500,000.
Billion.
Oh. Okay.
And it's gotten really bad. So I really haven't mentioned this on the podcast because I want to see what happens. Because from everything that's going on, it sounds like it's a shit show. All right. Like there's been shit shows, but this is a shit show. So one of the things the Formula One group has been doing to prevent people to get, free viewing of the race is there's these walkways that go over the Las Vegas strips. You've seen them.
Yeah.
And all that is just for pedestrians. Well, they put up these plexiglass with these coverings on them so that people cannot see the race. So the people won't be able to get free admission because it's still a public road. It's still, the public has to go through there to get from point A to point B. So that's going on. Hotels were costing a fortune. I was seeing, for example, on average, when the Grand Prix was announced and leading up until the last few months, to get a ticket to go see Formula One, it was costing on average like $5,000 a ticket.
Oh,
I don't know if that was $5,000 for a 3-day pass, or is $5,000 for just one day, which is the race day, which is expensive. Now it's being reported that you can go to the 3-day race event, so you can see practice 1, practice 2, and the race for $1,000. Hotels were charging around $2,000 a night to be able to be part of the Formula One package and all that. They were charging like $2,000 a night. Now they're charging $200 a night. And then There's other stuff going on in Vegas. Like right now, a lot of workers are striking in Vegas. They want better pay. They want better work quality and stuff like that. So that's still going on. And people are saying, okay, so what's going to happen with the catering? Because this is affecting the casinos. Now imagine this big Formula One circus comes to town and they're like, hey, we need you to work. And they're like, fuck you. We're not working for those wages. So it's just been a shit show after a shit show. And then it's going to be really fucking cold in Vegas. The lowest track temperature of all time that a Formula One car has raced in was in Canada back in, I think, the 70s or the 80s. And it was 5 degrees Celsius, which equates to about 41 degrees Fahrenheit. 41. Okay. Well, it's being reported that the Grand Prix is going to be at 4 degrees Celsius, which is 39.2 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's going to break the record.
But it's in the desert.
It's in the winter.
That's true.
Desert is hot during the day, but especially when it's in the winter, during the night, it just drops. So a lot of people are wondering, okay, so are they going to be able to warm up their tires? Because think about it. When they were in Qatar, they were complaining about it's too hot. It's like 21 degrees Celsius, which is 104 degrees, give or take. I know it was 104 degrees. I just didn't remember the exact Celsius. But they were complaining, okay, it's fucking hot. And then the United States Grand Prix was a little bit hot. Tires were kind of getting eaten up a little bit. Same in Mexico and Brazil. And now you have Vegas where it's dropping to the lowest it's ever been. And everything that's just going on, I'm going to be surprised if it's not a shit show. Because from everything I've heard, everything I've seen, first off, I do not expect this circuit to be a good race just because the layout literally looks like a pig turned upside down. Like, I'm not joking. People have literally said, okay, let me trace this out and let me paint it pig and add a little swishly tail. That's a pig.
You know, they wanted to design it after Josh McDaniels, you know, when in Vegas. But no, I was curious why they had to do a street track. Why couldn't you, let's spend some time and, you know, maybe a little bit more money and make a track maybe right outside of town. You know what I'm saying?
Because they want the glitz and the glamours of being in Vegas.
But is that really going to be worth it?
No, it's not. Absolutely not. It's like Formula One for the last 30 years, maybe even longer, has been wanting to race in New York City. Which that first off, imagine like, you know, Max Verstappen was complaining about a giant lizard, the son of Godzilla, earlier this year. Now he's going to be complaining, dude, there's fucking rats here the size of the car.
I think I just saw a rat carrying a piece of pizza across the track.
Holy shit, I think one took Yuki. Yuki!
No, that's just Yuki. Yuki is the rat.
Oh!
But no, and then it was kind of a similar situation with the Miami Grand Prix. That was pretty bad.
The fake Marina Bay.
Yep.
The overexpensive stuff, like our friend Grayson, he says he looked at the ticket. He's like, I can't afford to go. And he makes a decent money. He's a professional golf player.
Yep.
And he's like, that's a little bit rich for my taste.
Even like the cowboy hats in the Austin Grand Prix, they're gimmicking up all these races. And it's just like, oh.
And the Europeans think that's what Americans want. And Americans just want to see a regular race. We're like, right. No, we just want the Austin Grand Prix, COTA. We just want COTA. We're happy with COTA. We don't need any more tracks. All right. We want to see them race in the Hockenheim, that's Germany. We just want to see all these different races, more specifically at racetracks. They don't want street tracks. And I don't want street tracks. I want an actual circuit.
I want designed circuit tracks.
That's not Sochi.
That's not Sochi.
Ugh.
Please no.
Not again. But yeah, that's what's going on. We're going to talk more about it in depth next week, because this weekend on Saturday night at 12 a.m.
12 a.m. for us. For them, it's like
10 p.m.
Yeah.
We're going to be watching the Formula One Grand Prix in Las Vegas. If nobody fucking just smashes into the first corner, like the first corner, it's a sharp left, I believe, and there's a runoff area. If nobody crashes into the runoff area, I'm going to be very disappointed, and I'm going to turn off the TV because I'm going to go, all right, this is going to be a shit show.
They're going to turn the corner, and Charles Leclerc is going to see the globe, you know, the sphere of Las Vegas. He's going to see it, and it's just going to, I'm trying to think of something it could be. What could they display on it?
A dying horse. Very apropos.
Apropos.
Which, did you hear that giant globe has lost about $200 million?
Yeah. It looks cool, though.
The concept looks cool, but then you see how people, like how it's been showing, and some of the resolution that they've been using has been questionable just because it's a spear. Like, you're kind of limited on what you can do with the spear.
Why couldn't we do like a giant TV or something?
Well,
or a cube. A cube would be cool.
Well, you seen those 3D cubes that they have in New York, where it looks like it's coming out of the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have done something like that.
Like just a giant one.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
You could see the game, the Raiders playing, and you could see them lose in real time.
You can watch on the four sides and then on the top.
On the top, they're just looking down at Mark Davis's bald spot. Anyway, that's enough fucking around. Take us home, white boy.
Thank you guys for this episode of the Waterboy Experience. You can follow us on Twitter at the Waterboy Pod, or on TikTok at the Waterboy Pod as well. Thank you guys for listening, and peace. That's it.
Second and goal just outside the 10. Hard. Jumps an in. Oh, he spins into the end zone for the touchdown. Watching greatness on one end. In LeBron, there's a dude with 35 in white getting it done defensively and then offense taking